Huge changes are coming to old school RuneScape through the end of this year into 2024. Today we find out what the future holds for the game at the Summer Summit. Jagex hosts these events every year to let players know their plans, and generally pretty much everything announced makes it into the game. Tombs of Mascot, Group Iron Man, Desert Treasure 2, the list goes on of amazing updates that were first pitched at these summits. Either way, today is going to be massive for RuneScape, so join me in finding out what's coming, and I'll give a few opinions and maybe even subject you to a bit of propaganda.
So won't you just give it up, cause you don't understand. Pick it up, but you don't understand.
First things first, it is phenomenal that there are 37,000 people watching this live stream right now. Old school RuneScape is absolutely booming and going from strength to strength, and it's so nice to see. Alright, it's time to strap in because there's a lot of huge content coming. Welcome to the Kingdom of Varlamore. Old school RuneScape's new gigantic landmass expansion. Varlamore completes the southern section of Zaya, and from the game cache we can see that it's actually huge and full of content, which is going to be super exciting. And this is the goal for the end product. Looking at the map, that's the south of Zaya currently. The Stranglewood was just added with Desert Treasure 2, and we have a ton of different terrains, mountain ranges, rivers, islands, so much to explore. Because of its size, Varlamore is going to be released in batches, and the first batch is going to center around the capital city, Civitas Illus Fortis. Yep, thanks guys for that name. And for a first batch, there is so much content in here. The city itself, there'll be new monsters, a hunters guild, a coliseum, some dungeons. This looks amazing. Varlamore will also release with not one, but two quests. The first will introduce the player to the region. That's how you'll get to Varlamore. And through the second quest, you'll find out about the region's storyline. Now let's consider the first new thing that Varlamore brings, the Hunter Guild. The Hunter Guild will focus on breathing new life into well-established but underutilized content from all over Gillinor. You'll need 40 hunters to enter the guild, and over time you'll gain XP, unlock new hunter methods, and unlock more of what the guild has to offer. Kind of like the farming guild. I've really zoomed in here, and you can see, as we'd expect, there's a teleport in, there's a bank in there, a dungeon, and upstairs maybe you can fly and catch different types of birds. There's hunter areas, clothes shops, and a bunch of hunter shops. Everyone loves a good guild. I think that'll be a fantastic addition to the game. What's this? The Stonecutter Outpost, a massive mine, and the ability to maybe do something with the rocks. Who knows? Could make it worth mining rocks. I know people have been asking for that. That would be very cool. That's the thing, when so much land gets added, there is the opportunity to add so much content. There's also talk of adding an experience level quest, Perilous Moons. This all takes place on the west side of Varlamore and would give you access to a PVM based dungeon experience. Something like a cross between Barrows and the Forthos dungeon. Shout out to my Iron Man brothers and sisters. New farming patch alert. And I have saved the best part of Varlamore, in my opinion, till last. Welcome to the Fortis Coliseum. This epic arena is the setting for a new wave-based PVM minigame, inspired by the Tascal Trials, i.e. Blue Inferno, that was pitched in 2022. The Coliseum will be a wave-based PVM encounter, kind of like Inferno or the Fight Caves. The twist is, after every single wave, you'll have the option to leave with the loot that you've already got, or carry on, risk the loot for better rewards by going in deeper. You'll also be faced with choices of modifiers between waves, similar to a TOA invocation. Now, this sounds absolutely phenomenal. Every skill level here is represented because you can always dip out and claim your loot at any time you like, and it's a risk versus reward PVM thing, which we just don't have in this game. Now, maybe I'm getting out of line here, but I think the Coliseum should be designed in a way that it's never completable. There's always a wave deeper you can go to with higher level monsters, more spawns, until it becomes impossible. This is a fantastic opportunity to push the game's greatest players. I want to see Wooks enter a wave that nobody ever has before. And to top it off, you're risking all of your loot. If you get some crazy unique, are you going to stay? Or are you going to go deeper? So that's most of Varlamore. I've probably missed some things out there because it is so huge, but I see this as a gigantic win for Jagex and the community. And you know what's crazy? That's only one of the announcements this summit. All right, the next announcement's cooking. What could it possibly be? Oh my god, it's Leagues! Wait, Trailblazer Reloaded? Yes, that is right. Leagues 4 is coming to old school RuneScape. And if you know me, you know I'm just frothing at the mouth anytime the word league is mentioned. The last league was Shattered Relics League, and that took place nearly 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in January. For those of you that don't know what the Trailblazer League is, you're an Iron Man, you have incredibly accelerated experience rates, and you're buffed with powerful relics. The map is then cut into 10 different sections. You then complete tasks, which then allows you to unlock certain areas of the map. Leagues 4 will take place in winter 2023, so that's November or December, which is coming up pretty soon, and that's super exciting. For obvious reasons, I am heavily invested in the success of a new league, so you're gonna have to brace yourself for some propaganda here. I'll always be excited for a league, but I would be lying if I wasn't slightly disappointed that they've gone for the rerun approach here with Trailblazer. I get it, it's safe. Trailblazer was the most successful league, but after 2 years of waiting for a league, we're reusing one of only 3 concepts. The main selling point of this league is, it was great last time, along with, the game has changed so much, wouldn't it be cool to experience all these changes in a new league? But that would apply to any league. I get it, it's cool and exciting that the desert has been upgraded, and you can now go to Zaya and choose that as a region in the Trailblazer League. And that is super exciting, but I just think copy and pasting the formula exactly isn't the way to go here. If I could have my way, I wouldn't restrict a player at being able to unlock 3 different regions. In my view, you should be able to keep unlocking region after region after region after region, which gives you a reason to play for the entire 2 months. Generally, the drop-off is massive after everyone achieves all their relics and all their regions. So that's one thing that would give Leagues 4 a good identity. Leagues 4 Globetrotter. Let's call it that. Obviously, your League's gameplay experience is heavily impacted by what the relics are and what the tasks are. And they have alluded to the fact that they're going to switch these up, but they've really got to switch it up. Lots of new tasks, please, I'm begging you, because the tasks were copy and pasted from Leagues 2 to Leagues 3, which is a big reason I think Leagues 3 felt a bit stale. As for the relics, the team generally do a very good job of switching them up, so I'm not too worried about that. I just think my overall sentiment is it has to feel different to Trailblazer to be an overall success, and I'm not convinced that some things being added to the game since 2020 will make it feel different enough. Having said that though, I am super excited for Leagues. I'm just slightly crying because we got something recycled after 2 years instead of something original. Next up, a brand new raid, the Chambers of Xeric. Yeah, we've all heard of the Chambers of Xeric. It's not a new update here. We're talking about quality of life. And because the Chambers came out in early 2017, it's actually quite janky in comparison to a lot of other PVM content. The first suggestion is to be able to let you choose the layout with raid tokens, some form of payment, maybe it's GP or you get it from the end of the raid. And that means you don't have to waste away scouting for hours looking for the raid you want. The second big quality of life change is to allow you to pick the scale so you don't have to use alts to scale a raid. Hallelujah! These changes are so good. I'm a massive fan because it means you spend more time doing the Chambers of Xeric than scouting, logging into alts and scaling. Great updates. The old school team also want to introduce a high intensity mid-level boss. There are no plans for how it's going to look so far, but the idea is to try and bridge the gap between easy PVM and really hard endgame PVM. Think something with lots of mechanics, but none of the mechanics hit particularly hard. A great learning environment. And lastly, they're bringing back an old quest from 2007 called Path of Gluffrey. Now, I've never actually done this quest, but apparently it extends the gnome storyline and grants you access to 2 new Slayer creatures in the Poison Waste dungeon, the Warped Terrorbird and the Warped Tortoise. These creatures will drop the Warped Scepter, which is a self-powered staff that will sit somewhere in between the Iron Staff and a Trident of the Seas, also known as the Iron Man staff. Lastly, all of the things in the Summer Summit will be pulled. Also, they've snuck sailing in here, and if this passes, sailing will be coming to Old School RuneScape as its first skill. Confirmed. No turning back. What have I voted for this? It's a very scared yes from me. Bring on the future.
Just had to kick a check out of the studio for the